In spite of all your training, speeds aren't improving. Long runs seem almost impossible to do, and you're not excited to get out there and run anymore. Does any of that sound familiar? If so, you, my friend, might be dealing with a running plateau. And today I'm going to talk about how we can leverage Run Rock Run to help break through those plateaus. Welcome to Ageless Runner. I'm Ralph. Thank you for being here today. Now, plateaus happen when our bodies quit adjusting to training. We're no longer moving the needle any. And there's really 5 plateaus we want to talk about today. The first one is that speed plateau. You want to run faster, but you just can't seem to get there. Related to that, the second plateau is a race plateau. Trying to improve your race times is just not happening. The third plateau is that endurance plateau. You just can't seem to run any farther, just too difficult. The fourth plateau is a recovery plateau where your legs just feel too tired and weak for too long. And last plateau is a motivation plateau where you're just not excited to get out and run anymore. And we're going to discuss all 5 of those today, but let's do it in the studio because it's starting to sprinkle a little bit out here.
Now, before we jump into strategies for each of those 5 plateaus, let's review quickly why Run Rock Run can help us break through plateaus. And it kind of gets to the essence of why Run Rock Run is such a great running technique. The first reason, of course, is it reduces fatigue and the risk of overtraining. You know, when you run non-stop, you say you run 10 miles non-stop, you're going to get really tired at the end, going to overwork your muscles. Not only you're at risk of getting overtired, but you're at risk of hurting yourself because of that repetitive overuse on your muscles and your joints. Again, by taking those walk breaks, we reduce that. The second reason Run Rock Run can help us break through those plateaus is it's much more effective in our speed workouts. Now, if you didn't see my last video on this topic, please check that out. I'll link that down below. I cover that in a little more detail. Now, the third reason Run Rock Run can help us break through plateaus enhances recovery and allows us to increase mileage without injury. Often runners hit plateaus because they're training too hard, they're pushing too hard, and they put wear and tear on their muscles, wear and tear on their joints, and they get injured and hurt themselves. Run Rock Run can help avoid that. Let's talk about the first plateau, and that's a speed plateau, where you're trying to run faster, you're trying to improve your pace. No matter how you train, you're just not doing it. And that's where you need to start using Run Rock Run in your speed workouts. Now, I covered that in a lot of detail in my last video. Again, if you haven't seen it, I'll link it down below. But if you're interested in increasing your pace, increasing your speed, and just can't seem to do it, please watch that video. That'll help you. Now, the next plateau, which is kind of related to the first one, and that's the race plateau, where you'd like to improve your race times. You're just not getting it no matter how you train. You're just not improving your half marathon time, your 10K time, whatever. Now, often a reason for that is we're going out too fast early in the race. And that's where Run Rock Run can really help. By using strategic walk breaks properly, we control the rate at which we're burning our energy, expending our energy, and allow us to not get too tired too quickly. And often what I would recommend, if you're trying to improve your race times, think about going out a little easier, maybe using a little lower ratio early in the race. If you're normally a 4-to-1 guy like I am, maybe start your race at like 3-to-1. Give yourself a little longer walk break and early in the race, control your energy expenditure. Then as you get into the race, you're feeling good, bump up to that 4-to-1, maybe bump up to 5-to-1, kind of finish stronger. Don't get too tired too quickly. Save that energy and kind of finish strong. Then bump up to 4-to-1, 5-to-1. Again, I typically recommend not going above 6-to-1, but start a little easier, finish a little stronger. Now, the third plateau is that all-important mileage plateau where you're just not getting the endurance you want, just not getting the miles you want. Even though you've been training a lot and trying to push it, you're just not getting it. You just can't run those miles you want. And often that's because we just get too tired. Our fatigue builds up. We just can't go any farther. And that's, again, the forte of Run Rock Run. It allows us to control our energy. The main reason Run Rock Run helps us in running farther is it kind of evens out energy expenditure by taking those walk breaks, where we're kind of evening out the rate at which we burn energy, the rate at which we deplete glycogen. And the walk breaks, of course, also help us to replace our glycogen. Walk breaks are the perfect time to, take in energy, eat a gel or eat a sandwich, whatever, drink some water, replace the glycogen and the energy in our body. So it allows us to more control our energy expenditure so that we're not getting too fatigued too soon and we can run those longer distances. Now, the fourth plateau is the recovery plateau where you just can't seem to recover. Your legs are tired too long. And often that's a result of not doing the proper recovery runs, post-recovery runs. Say you went out and did 10 miles this week, today, you wait a few days, you want to do a recovery run. You need to make sure that's a really easy recovery run. That's where Run Rock Run can help you. Now, my suggestion is use lower ratios for your recovery run. You want to have longer walk times. So if you normally do 4-to-1 like I do, you might do a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 in your recovery runs. And when you run very easy. But again, you're walking. The walking still allows your muscles to work, allows the blood to flow to help with recovery, but think lower ratios, easy run intervals to help you with that recovery. Now, the last plateau is the motivation plateau, and that's often a result of being too repetitive, doing the same thing over and over and over. And that's where One Rock Run is so nice. There's so much flexibility. You can change up walk times, run times, ratios. For example, you might want to play around with the ratios. How do you know whatever ratio you do today is the best ratio for you and whatever you're trying to achieve? So, for example, you might this week do a 3-to-1 ratio. How's that work for you? Next week, do a 4-to-1. Week after that, do a 5-to-1. Maybe go as high as 6-to-1. Play around with those ratios. Play around with those run times. Play around with those walk times. That's some variety in your running life. That can increase your motivation. I love to experiment. Experimentation kind of has a little spice, a little motivation to what you're doing. Learn from that. Change things up and learn from it. Of course, you can always do things like go to a new location instead of running around your neighborhood, go do a trail run. Those are immaterial whether you run, walk, run or not. But try experimenting with run, walk, run variables to see how they impact your running and achieve your running goals. You know, there's a lot of success stories about people who have used run, walk, run to help them achieve their running goals, maybe break through plateaus. I will link to a Runner's World article down below that talks about a couple of runners who actually used One Rock Run to help them train and qualify for the Boston Marathon. So the sky's the limit, and with One Rock Run helping you break through those plateaus and achieve your running goals. Now, what about you? Have you had running plateaus in your past? Are you dealing with one now? What was it? How did you overcome it? I'd love to hear about it. Please feel free to comment down below. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it and hitting that like icon. If you're new here and you'd like to stay with me and build our relationship and I can give you more running tips and motivation, please consider subscribing. In any case, please stay strong, stay healthy, and happy running.